Christmas time is here, by golly, disapproval would be folly. Deck the halls with hunks of holly, fill the cup and don't say when. Kill the turkeys, ducks, and chickens, mix the punch, drag out the dickens. Even though the prospect sickens, brother, here we go again. On Christmas Day you can't get sore, your fellow man you must adore. There's time to rob him all the more, the other 306 a day afore. Relations sparing no expensel, send some useless old utensil, or a matching pen and pencil, just the thing I need, how nice. It doesn't matter how sincere it is, nor how heartfelt the spirit. Sentiment will not endear it. What's important is the price. Hark, the Herald Tribune sings, advertising wondrous things. God rest ye merry merchants, may ye make the Yuletide pay. Angels we have heard on high tell us to go out and buy. So let the raucous sleigh bells jingle, hail our dear old friend Kris Kringle, driving his reindeer across the sky. Don't stand underneath when they fly by.
Good evening and welcome to your Saturday edition of the Minions of the Zoo. I am your host and keeper of the Harry channel, and with me tonight are Minions 3. SkepTok.
Ho, ho, ho.
Serenity Star 13.
Hello.
And Geodes.
Hello?
Who's like a cat wearing a disco ball or something. I'm not.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
We'll just go with
What is that?
It's a cat wearing a helmet. He's a mech pilot. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's part of a meme.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have a story that you're going to love for later.
Okay.
I mean, well, maybe at least one. Hopefully more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So starting with Serenity, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Anything, are you ready for Christmas?
I mean, as bright as anybody can be.
Well, I mean, there are degrees. I still need to go to some brick and mortar places and buy a few things. I'm not off the hook yet, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I think I wish I didn't have to. I don't know what it's like around there, but it used to be in Silicon Valley that anywhere, if you were near any of the malls, there'd be like these huge traffic jams.
Mm-hmm.
And you just see that right lane where that exit is, it would just back up forever. And it was just this terrible thing. And now with all the online stuff and the sales that start 3 months before Christmas, you know, like early pre Black Friday day, not a lot of drama. Actually, I mean, it looked like some of them were reasonably busy, but it's nothing like what it used to be 10 years ago, or even more so 20. Stuff like Amazon has really changed the way people shop for stuff.
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I mean, so is it going to be snowing for you come Christmas time? Okay.
No, because of how we sit with the Appalachian Mountains and close enough to the Atlantic for it to affect us, but not too close. We very rarely have white Christmases. We usually get hit with snow in January and February. This year we had a little bit of snow that was early, but it didn't stick around because we're back up to like the 50s almost now.
It's interesting because West Virginia is actually the whitest state in the United States.
You say widest?
Yeah, whitest. So you always kind of have a
just
white
wanted to
Christmas.
be clear. Just be clear.
Yeah, it has the highest percentage of white-skinned people. And so in a sense, you really have the whitest Christmas every year.
It's the widest Christmas because of all the Cracker Barrels and country buffets and things like that. Do you have like a good buffet near you? Well, I mean, not near you. In your state, you guys have buffet restaurants, right? Where people go and there's like the hose that dispenses gravy and stuff. Man, I haven't been to one of those for a long time.
Oh,
I love a good buffet.
Well, I mean, like West
my
Virginia is
God.
right below Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania has like one of the best giant buffets in the country.
Hmm.
It's something smorgasbord. I can't remember the full name right now. But it's like I think it is the largest. I think it actually is like in the books as being the largest buffet.
Well, setting aside as a special carve out the Navy Postgraduate School Officers Club, let's just set that aside.
Yeah, East Earl, Pennsylvania. It's Shady Maple Smorgasbord.
Yeah, there used to be one in Palo Alto, which I went to. God, I was like 14 or 15, and it was actually in a restaurant associated with a motel that was owned by the entertainer Dinah Shore. So it was Dinah's Shack, and it had like this restaurant that was there. And that place, man, that was like the first time I went to a good smorgasbord where like everything was really pretty damn good, like excellent fried chicken, excellent chocolate mousse. Everything was just excellent about it. I love a good buffet, but I guess that just proves I'm a real American. Anyway, sorry, it's turning into an episode of Seinfeld here. We're doing a lot of talking about nothing. Apologies. Is there anything that you want to bring up before we delve into the show?
Not that I can think of.
You're good? Okay.
My spleen as of right now does not need to be vented.
No, I'm feeling pretty at one with the universe right now. I'm feeling fairly zen, pretty copacetic. I'm actually trying not to be pissed off going into the holidays because I just don't think it's a good idea. The show after the holidays, we'll start talking about all the crap that's going to happen next year. But we'll just set that aside for right now. Some of the horrible things I found out about in the last couple of days. So Geodes.
Yes.
So you, as a recently relocated person, probably don't have a lot of connections yet in the place where you are. You might not even know where there's a good buffet yet.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a little bit of scouting. I can tell you where there's generally like better food, but I can't tell you where the really good stuff is, like the shops that you may not know about. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're just superficial beings. You know, it's all about eating and presents and that sort of stuff. But on the plus side, just all of the family stuff is the stuff that you're going to remember. You're not going to remember how good the ham was on any given year. Actually, I will say this: bad Christmas presents are really easy to remember. Like when you get something that's just epically terrible. Do you have one of those that you can mention without causing any schisms with your family? Like they're not going to hear this, right? Did you ever get like just the worst gift ever from somebody who should have known better?
I mean, I got a gift. There was one year, and this is when I was switching to a different high school that was more media oriented. Everything I got for Christmas that year was all school related. I got notebooks, I got pencils, I did get a new camera, which was nice. But it's one of those things where, prior Christmases were like, the classic thing of like, like you get the video games or, toys or stuff like that. And yes, you get clothes and stuff like that. But it was a very drastic shift. Like everything was school related. And that was very memorable because I was very disappointed.
Oh, I can do one better. I had this jacket that desperately needed to be replaced. I had worn that thing out. It was this orange jacket. And my grandmother took it upon herself to buy me this jacket that was, the colors of the Dallas Cowboys, kind of that sort of white and silver and blue. Well, it was like a silver and Dallas Cowboy blue jacket that should have just had written on the back of it, just beat me up. It was the worst thing. And even though my old jacket was pretty much falling apart, like, no, I really like the old jacket. Don't want this one to get damaged. Let's just leave that in the closet for now where it's safe because I like it too much. And I had to spend months lying about that jacket as the other old ones kept falling apart. Why don't you wear your new jacket? because I don't want to be abused by people at school, because kids are mean, but honestly, I would deserve to be bullied if I wore that thing. It was the ugliest piece of shit thing. It was really, really bad. And I'm not just doing a bit here. I mean, it sucked. It's the kind of thing where you show your friends if they come over and then they start laughing. It's like, it was that level of bad. So at one point it was cold and I said, I'm going to put this jacket on and then go help fix a car. And that got oil on it and I had to get rid of it. It was a very sad day. At least when I didn't go to see Gordon Lightfoot, I only had to pretend to be sad for a little bit of time. That jacket was a multi-month long thing. My grandmother meant well, but God, sometimes she just had the worst taste in things. It was pretty shocking. I have to remind myself that she meant well, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing with my folks. It's like they were trying to help, but just I get it.
I'm like a young boy. I don't want to wear a shiny jacket, a shiny silver and light blue jacket.
Yeah, it's a nice shiny jacket, Martin.
How about no? Jacket. Yeah, no, that was just not gonna happen.
Yeah,
but
hey, that kid's got a shiny jacket. Let's beat the shit out of him.
Let's just, it probably would have toughened me up. Just a regular round of weekly beatings for about a year. That would have really, who knows, the trajectory of my life might be very different. Anyway, hi, SkepTok.
Good to hear your voice, Harry. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. What have you got planned? I already know you've got like this huge family and you all like each other as far as I can tell. And there's going to be tons of food and relatives and dogs and it's going to be great, right? Is that pretty much it?
Sort of.
Okay.
I mean, that's with, the part of the family that I'm married into. My birth family, I've said this on the show before, doesn't really like me. I mean, to a person, the only one who likes me is my dad and my sisters both. To say they really do not like me is an understatement. So they prefer it when I stay away. So I'm not going down to see Dad or anything for Christmas because they're doing something down there. So I have to stay away. So, but I get to stay up here with my zillions of grandchildren and other things, and there will be some big deal. We go over and do the gift exchange and all that stuff, and that part of the family really does kind of like each other.
Good.
And that's the important part of my family to me. Is my sister's not liking me doesn't bother me.
Yeah, that's not a big deal.
It's like your brother not liking you, Harry.
He likes me enough to pretend so that he can ask for stuff, but that's okay. He
doesn't like you. He doesn't know how to like people.
Yeah, he doesn't. No, he's a broken person, but only through things that he did to himself.
That's not important right now.
I did actually talk to my sister, and we've been doing this sort of gift exchange where she sends me expensive wine and I send her expensive liquor. And I decided I wanted to break that cycle. So I said, okay, look,
you said some heroin.
Let's have a discussion about like other things that you might like, what can I do? And so I actually took the time to really talk to her and kind of probe her a little bit. And then I actually put about 2 or 3 hours into, trying to find something that would be just perfect for her. And so I'm feeling pretty good about my gift giving. Sister, check. Imaginary girlfriend, check. Everything is, I'm pretty much ready except for a little bit of cooking that I want to do.
Excellent.
Yeah, I desperately want to make, just sort of as a tradition, used to always make mincemeat tarts. And so if that tradition is going to be kept alive, it's going to be kept alive by me. So I have a little bit of pastry to roll out. So would you do me a favor and say hello to the chat, please?
I would love to. Me count a slice of browser and see who all is listening to us tonight. Who has come to hear our dulcet tones? Nothing's here. Hi, nothing to see here. Silver Raven Wing is here, and Brol 13. Nice to have you with us this evening. Cryptic's here. Hey, Cryptic, how you doing, bud? Trying to just go through, not repeat myself. Rad's Cord is here. Nice to see you. And let's see, I think that's everywhere. Thank you for coming to our Christmas show, and we hope you'll be entertained. Thanks for being a part of it. We love that you want to be a part of the show, and we pay attention to chat for that reason. So anyway, we do this for you, and hope you enjoy the show tonight. Thanks for coming by.
Also, Cryptic, yes. Yes to all of that. Yes.
Geode is a traitor.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. We still like him. I mean,
That's right.
to give credit where credit's due, Geode's helps me with a lot of the show prep. Even when he's not on, he's always sending me stuff.
Yes.
Which is good, because if it's something where everybody just groans afterward, I can always blame Geode. It's like, hey, don't blame me. This was Geodes who thought this was a good idea. I was against it. But here we are. As far as, so let's see, who was saying, I haven't had a decent Christmas since I was a kid, honestly. Yeah, I mean, Christmas when you're an adult is different.
Obligations.
And a lot of it's just about finding a way to avoid the bad stuff so you can allow yourself to enjoy it. But man, nothing beats that thing when you're a kid, that 364 days of waiting. Because I was the kid that didn't want to open his presents all at once. I would kind of pace myself. So I'd be like the last one who had presents that were unwrapped, and people would be, oh, you got to unwrap your presents because we got to go do stuff. And it's like, no, trying to savor this moment. I never quite understood that orgy of just tearing everything open all at once, because that next 364 days you had to wait always felt just kind of like, so painful. Because Christmas was, I guess it's kind of like heightened time. It's almost like being infatuated. It's like that 2 weeks after you meet somebody special where you're infatuated and you can't really get that feeling back. You can't get that Christmas as a kid feeling back as an adult, because I don't think anything really compares. But that's okay. That's totally okay, because there's like other stuff that happens during the year that's pretty damn awesome that kids wouldn't even understand. It's like, it's totally fine.
I personally enjoy Thanksgiving more nowadays, but even with some of the the details, but I enjoy that a lot more because I actually get to go and see people that I don't normally see. So
man, and New Year's and Halloween, those can be really great. I think those are really good holidays for adults.
Yes.
New Year's definitely.
Because we can go buy our own candy. Who cares about that? That's not really that big an appeal. Anything where you get to dress up and carouse and have a good time, I like it. I am not anti-fun when it comes to stuff like that. So let's see. Enough sophistry. Where do we want to go from here? Let's see. I was going to talk a little bit about sort of the, are we ready for Christmas thing. I feel like we talked about this, but I did go through a bunch of the movies that were coming out, and I just took a brief look at how terrible they are. And I was thinking originally of sort of the Hallmark things. But there's things that are way worse than most of the Hallmark movies. I think the first Hallmark movie that got my attention was Holiday in Handcuffs. Do you remember that one, Serenity?
That's the one with Melissa Joan Hart in it.
Melissa Joan Hart and Mario Lopez? Is that his name? The Lopez guy? I think it's Mario Lopez. Who still is making Hallmark Christmas movies, by the way. Mario Lopez is. He's sort of the male equivalent of that woman whose name escapes me that's been in over 20 something of them. She's got one of those 3-name people. Like, it's not Candace Cameron Burr, I think is her name. She's been in like 20 something of those things. I really enjoy bad movies sometimes. It entertains me, and it probably shouldn't. Let me see if I can get technology to cooperate with me here.
I like bad old movies.
So Hallmark Channel is doing a thing that they're calling Christmas Above the Clouds, which is sort of a remake of the Christmas Carol thing. Okay, fine, no problem. That could be entertaining enough. And then we've got Christmas at the Catnip Cafe, you know that's going to be absolute quality. Olivia Pierce, a marketing executive, discovers her late great aunt's cat cafe in New York, which she believes will be a Christmas miracle. She helps plan fundraising events, gaining appreciation for the feline inhabitants. Oh, doesn't that sound sweet? The Catnip Cafe.
There you go.
But it definitely gets a lot worse when you get into the things that aren't even picked up by Hallmark. So this one actually 4 seconds into the video, let me just say it's almost a jump scare. So here we go. Thing. And then that woman shows up, and it's like, this is one of those plastic surgery things gone terribly wrong, because the whole time you're kind of looking up her nostrils. This is a Scottish Christmas secret. I watched a little bit of the preview. I won't bore you with that sort of stuff. We've got also a pickleball Christmas, because why not? Tennis star Luke Hollis heads home for Christmas and discovers his family's racket club is about to be sold. Along with Caroline, the club's pickleball coach, Luke agrees to compete in a holiday tournament that could save the club. That's like some Mickey Rooney stuff. You know, hey kids, let's put on a show and save the orphanage kind of stuff. I like it. I think we should definitely do that sort of thing. And on the Disney Channel, we've got a very Jonas Christmas movie. Sure, why not? I think in terms of the overall quality, it's probably Disney, then Hallmark, and then everything else. Maybe Netflix is making something. Oh, and I forgot the Real Shorts people.
We found your fake Christmas wife.
Have rented a billionaire husband for Christmas. So this is like a level even below all of that sort of stuff. I'm sorry, did I hurt you, Skep? But yeah, there's like a whole bunch of Christmas movies that come out every year. I was just looking at IMDb, and you'd think we have enough of them in the can that we wouldn't necessarily need too many of them. But there are just like so many of them that there's just pages and pages and pages of 2025 Christmas movies. I think the entertainment industry is doing just fine. The Christmas Cup, Kevin Costner presents the first Christmas, an Alpine holiday. Good times. I kind of miss having cable, but then again, I kind of don't. And I remember my grandmother used to watch this stuff all the time. She'd just sort of be glued to the TV, wanting to look at all this stuff. Now, I've been joking with the Geodes and other people about how we need to bring Krampus back. I think Krampus is a great tradition. He's sort of like evil Santa Claus that punishes bad children, and he's been around forever. I had this person who would cut my hair for a while, and I spent a lot of time trying to convince her to introduce Krampus into her son's Christmas, but of course, she knew I was just sort of joking, but that was like a running joke for a while. But I love the idea of this kind of old school Teutonic torturing of children. I mean, I like it in the abstract sort of way. Let's bring Krampus back.
Harry, I should point out, I can't see if anything on the screen if you're showing it to us through Zoom.
Oh, well, that would be because I muted my video. It's going out to the channel.
Yeah, it's going out to the channel.
Okay.
I see it on YouTube.
Technologica. Okay. So
there we go.
But of the things that I really, there's one thing that I hate in media for Christmas, and that is some of the Christmas music is really bad. Specifically, this Paul McCartney Wonderful Christmas Time thing. And I think the reason I dislike it so much is because they would play it in the market, and I'd go shopping at night, and they'd played it on just sort of a loop, and I felt like I was getting some sort of enhanced interrogation. Because it's super repetitive.
We'll break you, Harry.
And it's got like this weird sort of audio effect thing going on, where it's all like in this fuzzy, hazy sort of sound profile. Drives me a little bit bonkers.
Did you feel like you were stuck in suddenly going from A Wonderful Christmas Time to Clockwork Orange? Is that what was happening here?
Yeah, it was a very Clockwork Orange sort of thing.
Had his ears held open.
You guys are familiar with this. I mean, obviously, if I play it, bad things are going to happen to the channel instantly.
Yeah.
But it's like, simply having a wonderful Christmas time, rinse, lather, repeat for about 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, we're all scarred by different things, jackets,
But
songs.
it's an insidious tune because of the way that the tune is structured.
Yes.
And then it naturally loops in your head. And
Yeah.
that's what gets you.
It kind of earworms you, but not in a good way.
Not in a good way at all. I hear that. Yeah.
And now you know why retail workers are so unhappy during the holidays.
Man, be nice to the people that help you obtain things, that make your food. Man, anybody who's in a service position, do not take your frustrations out on them.
Let me tell you, every chance that I had, I loved to observe people in the business world in a situation with a waiter. I observed very carefully how they acted toward that waiter. You can learn so much about how people treat service help. If they treat them badly, almost 100% chance you were going to have a bad experience with that person.
Well, Geodes, I don't try to give you relationship advice all the time, but I will tell you this one thing. If you are out to dinner with a young lady and you treat staff poorly, that's probably going to be a huge turn off.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're with her and she treats staff poorly, that's that's like one of the biggest red flags there is.
Yeah.
It's a telegram from God.
That's the universe doing you a favor. I'm glad I found that out now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's one of those things where you try to end the date as amicably as you can, and then you just don't contact them back. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's almost in the, you definitely want to end it amicably, because you'll probably end up on getting a Yelp review for Geode's worst first date ever. My water wasn't being refreshed in a timely fashion, and he did nothing about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen.
So I did run into one little thing, and then we're done with Christmas for this show. So we'll just run that out. I ran into this channel. It's a guy called Vindaloo Singh. Let's see if you're familiar with any of this. So this is him doing Sleigh Ride.
Outside the snow is falling and our friends are calling you home. Come on, it's lovely weather.
And I don't know why, but that sort of cheers me up.
Mm-hmm.
He has done a whole bunch of fantastic versions of all your favorite Christmas songs. You can hear them with sort of what would you call this accent? Scap?
I was trying to think. Is that
there's a name for it, and an actual name for it, and I can't remember. It's like Hindi English or something. I think is what they would call it.
Well, I was thinking. Yeah, it sounds like a Sindhi speaker, or a Hindi speaker. I'm trying to think what the linguistic names. Boy, Indian linguistics. There's so many languages in India. There's like 120 major languages in India. It's insane. There's just two really that are a little bit more predominant. They're just pluralities. There's no majority language.
Yeah,
that's like
and one of the two is English. One of the two is English, by the way. The other one is Telugu. Is that what it is? I think that's what.
Well, I think Last Christmas, that's a Wham thing, isn't it? Is that Wham?
Last Christmas. George Michael. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's good times.
Send it away. Give it to someone special.
I was trying to load Spotify, which doesn't help because Harry doesn't use Spotify.
Like 1985 stuff.
Yeah. Sorry. There's no time index into it, but good old Vindaloo Singh.
Save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special.
I've actually listened to all of this.
That's
because
wonderful.
I don't know, for some strange reason this kind of amuses me, and I know I'm probably the only one here who thinks that it's funny.
Well,
All
no,
right.
no, you're not the only person who has worked with people who talk like that. That's why it's amusing to you.
Well, the people that I work with don't
Mhm.
talk like that typically, but some people in like
Well,
service positions in Silicon Valley definitely talk like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
you've what I mean is you've run into it and you're familiar with.
Yeah. Do you like cheese, Serenity?
Yeah.
What if I told you that cheese is linked to lower dementia risk?
They
Would you like it
roll
just a
that
teeny bit more?
they roll that study out every few years.
I
I've
know.
heard it more than once. It's like, guys,
Yeah,
good.
I think this
Not
has
how
got to
that
be
works,
from
but
the International Cheese Institute or something like that. They're claiming that the fattier the cheese, the better it is for you. I like convenient results. I think studies that tell me that what I'm already going to do is good for me are
Yeah.
my favorite studies.
hell, they decide cheese is evil.
Well, on a more serious note, scientists find the biological footprint of social anxiety may reside partially in the gut.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
they actually took young people who had social anxiety problems and a control group, and they took bacteria from them and put them in lab rats, and like newborn lab rats, and were actually able to see behavior consistent with social anxiety in the rats that had bacteria, like gut bacteria, transferred into them from the group that had the problem. Because the question people have had, because they've seen this association for a while, is do the gut bacteria cause the social anxiety, or does something about the social anxiety cause the gut bacteria? And by performing the experiment in this way, you can test whether the bacteria is the cause of the effect. And it looks like the cause. It's obviously not the entire cause of this thing, but imagine, you're giving a little kid antibiotics and then they end up being afraid of crowds later. It's not unthinkable. You got to be really careful with all this digestive stuff. Everything that we feed ourselves needs to be good for our gut bacteria too, given all of the stuff that seems to be linked to the stomach and the GI system. We like to think the brain is the one driving the bus, but it's like the brain's got the gut whispering in its ear all the time. Either saying good things or bad things. I don't know.
The brain's just a symbiotic part of an entire system.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people just can't wrap their head around, is that the brain does do a lot, but it's a piece of a whole. It's not the whole piece.
Exactly.
And that's my issue with people who claim to be very analytical and all this kind of stuff. It's like, what? It's like, no, your other stuff, hormones, gut bacteria, everything else has a say in it. You're just refusing to acknowledge it because it doesn't fit into the purview of the box that you want it to be. That's the reason why I usually just roll my eyes and go, and they just keep tucking themselves up, because that's the only thing you can do, because they will not listen. So I'm just like, good for you, honey. Going away now.
Yeah. Well, I do wonder about people eating yogurt thinking it's like that's going to do much. It's like, in the big scheme of things, it's not that much bacteria. And how does it actually get through the big pool of acid in your stomach? That seems like a weird way to do it. What you eat and what ends up being digested in your intestines, I believe, has a much stronger influence than just whether you eat yogurt.
Well, that's the thing, though, is like with the gut bacteria and the stomach and everything like that and social anxiety, it's like, well, it's cool you did that with teenagers, but as much as I hate to say it, you're going to have to do it with babies. Like, we need to know, is the bacteria in the gut a symptom or is it the cause? And that's kind of the issue of, like, they kind of did it a little bit with the mice, but that really doesn't count, because one, mice are not exactly like us, and two, you're having gut bacteria that was already in the stage that it would have had to have matured to, or at least got or developed to cause that. It's kind of like giving active chicken pox to a little kid. You like, I understand what they were trying to do, and I'm glad they're doing studies into this and like looking into it, but it's like, showing that it is transferable is a good thing because then it makes it easier to study in a weird way. But at the same time, is it something that happens in utero? Is it something that's affected by the chromosomes? Is it something affected just by the way the hormones start to go in prepubescence? Like, what does it? And that's going to be the part that's going to be interesting if they continue down that path, which is what I hope they do. Because if taking because that's part of the reason why a lot of the social anxiety like pills for that kind of stuff are the milligrams they are, is because they're probably fighting against partially the bacteria to get to the brain to override the bacteria that's doing it. But if we can take care of it in the gut, hopefully it's a much smaller, much less of causing bad stuff in the brain, like having suicidal thoughts kind of thing. Yes.
Yeah, all the pharmacology stuff gets complicated. Like you're talking about the pills the pills that people take. Skep, I actually should send you a link to this, or maybe we'll talk about it later. But I found a great conversation about GLP-1 medications and how they work. I actually didn't understand the difference between Ozempic and Zepbound and these other ones. They actually aren't. I thought they were all just knockoffs of each other. It's like, oh no, no, not at all.
They're individual formulations.
Yeah.
Well, but I didn't know this. Do they have different mechanisms of action? Or some of them CNS and some of them PNS?
Well, basically Ozempic blocks one set of receptors, and Zepbound, the Lilly thing, actually not only does that, but it also takes care of some of the other mechanisms that can cause nausea and other things when you don't eat enough. So it not only blocks your appetite, but it also blocks some of the bad side effects from not eating. So you're just blissfully unaware that you're starving yourself to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if they could just cut the part of the medication out that cuts down the food noise, would help most of these people. But that's
what it is. Well, the thing about the GLP-1 stuff is it's actually an amazing discovery, because the GLP-1 stuff basically only lives in your system for a couple minutes. So your stomach basically saying, I'm full, I don't need this thing. But what they did was they modified it ever so slightly. They just put a little tail on it so that it actually binds to albumin, and it circulates in your bloodstream for 7 days. Yeah. So they took something that in your body would normally have an effect for a few minutes at most, and turned it into a very similar chemical, which lasts for 7 days.
Yeah.
God, those people are clever sometimes.
But as long as it's kind of it's the dangerous thing with GLP-1 stuff, is that the dangerous thing that we same had with when they started doing gastric bypass. If the people use that time to learn how to change their relationship with food and eating, and learn how to feed themselves better, learn how to not necessarily count calories, but just learn I don't want to say proper way, but a better way to which consume the calories to continue them to live. That's the good thing. The problem is that a lot of people who are getting prescribed the GLP-1 stuff are not being taught it. So they're not they're kind of being told, yeah, you just need to be careful what you eat, and then that's it. They're not being told that you're going to have to change the entire way you look at food, period.
Yeah.
Because eventually you can't take GLP-1 anymore. I think they said the max time limit's 2 years or something like that. It's 2 to 5, I think someone said, that they don't want anybody going longer than that, which I don't blame them.
No.
But it's you have that amount of time to change how you look and feel about food, and how you consume it, and how often you consume it, as well as deal with the fact of the food noise is never going to permanently go away, because it's going to come back with GLP. So you have to learn how to look at it and go, no.
Well, you're fighting hundreds of thousands of years of evolutionary pressure.
Oh yeah.
Because for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, by far the biggest cause of people dying was not having enough food.
Yeah.
And here we are with Country Gourmet, and not Country Gourmet. That's a different thing. What was I talking about? What's the buffet that I mentioned to you earlier? There's Cracker Barrel and all this thing. Anyway, I can't remember. Golden Corral, I think, is the one I mentioned. That's right. Okay, so yeah, some of the pharmaceutical stuff really is pretty interesting. I mean, I'm not against technology.
Oh yeah.
I think Bernie Sanders is kind of against it, though. Let's see, where is this thing? So Bernie Sanders came out and made a video.
Thanks for joining me. Let us be clear. AI and
Moratorium on
robotics
data
are the
centers.
most transformative technologies in the history of humanity and will have a profound impact on the lives of every man, woman, and child in our country.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of feel like of all the people on the Democrat side or progressive side or whatever side you want to say he's on, that you could pick to give this message, he might be one of the worst ones, because it just kind of seems like angry old man shaking his fist at AI. I think just from a messaging perspective, he's just the wrong guy.
It's a disaster.
It's from a PR thing. It's like, I think he just is kind of wants people to notice him. So he's coming out and saying this, and because
he wants to be Bernie Sanders one last time.
You could have an honest discussion with people people who know what they're talking about and take the position that he's taking, totally defensible. I just don't think he's the guy from an imaging perspective that should be doing it.
No doubt about that.
Yeah. It's like when Tucker Carlson was talking about, well, we don't want self-driving technology being applied to commercial trucking. And it was mostly, he was talking about it because he felt that it would be bad from a jobs perspective. And, perfectly reasonable argument. Just maybe Tucker Carlson isn't the guy to be making it.
Especially now.
Especially now. Yeah. I'm not paying too much attention to this whole Tucker Candace thing that's going on. I just
wait for the insanity to settle.
Yeah.
Before you invest a lot of time in it, because I've invested some time in it, and it really is actually pretty mundane, most of what's going on. So just kick back, enjoy the kerfuffle, and let it shake out. But I'm not too worried about it. You have some very annoying, egotistical personalities who get their feathers ruffled publicly, and it's entertaining to watch for a little while.
But what are Bernie's
taking it in that spirit? I'm sorry.
No, Serenity's going to re-vector us back to the topic.
Well, I was about to say, because he said just a few points that we need to be thinking about. What are your points, old man?
Well, let's listen to some of them.
Not you, old man.
A few points. Just a few points that we need to be thinking about. One, who is aggressively pushing?
He's going the fear, uncertainty, and doubt card.
Well, surprise. It happens to be the very wealthiest people on Earth. People
we
like
hate them
Elon
so
Musk,
much.
Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel, Bill Gates.
Yeah, because they have the money to invest, you old moron.
Multi-billionaires.
Yeah.
So here's a very simple question I'd like you to think.
Here, let's turn him up to some higher speed here.
Yeah, because he's almost as bad as that.
Well, he's enjoying holding the talking stick, so
I know.
Everything's fine. How do you feel about 1.25?
Go for it.
Okay.
May actually be accessible.
Do you
Not
believe
on screen, Harry.
that these guys, these multi-billionaires, are staying up nights worrying about what AI and robotics will do to the working families of our country and the world?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so. I think that these very, very rich men want even more wealth and even more power. And for a whole bunch of reasons, that
he
is
really
very
sounds younger
dangerous.
when he's talking to us, doesn't he?
What will AI?
He really seems very vigorous at 1.25, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. It's excellent.
It just puts a real spring in his step.
Mm-hmm.
I just love it. It's like the old fella's coming back to life.
Yeah, rich people bad, technology scary, working class people good. I mean,
you wouldn't know that from the policies he pushes that he thinks working class people are good.
Or all the houses that he has. I mean, he's not as rich as Fidel Castro, but come on, all these, know.
Well, it's one of those it's the whole fact of stepping back. You go, okay, you're making good points, but the thing is that it's kind of like, well, he's a communist. It's like, so you want the government to be the only one putting money into AI, but that's also dangerous because what happens when it's a governmental leader that you do not like? It's kind of like the thing I always get in arguments with my friends who are a little bit more liberal who talk about wanting all these social programs. It's like, yes, but what happens if it's someone you hate who has the control of the reins and the money bag? Like, what happens then? Like, we'll use Trump. It's like, what do you do then? Are you just going to not use the programs? What happens if they get rid of the programs and you've built up this whole like reliance on it? And this is the same kind of stuff. Like, he's not wrong, but at the same time, a lot of the stuff, it's not going to be the tradespeople working class who are going to get replaced first. It's going to be I don't want to use white collar because they're not white collar, but that's the closest thing I got. It's going to be the white collar working class, people who just sit in cubicles and stuff I used to do and what geodes used to do. That are going to get replaced. The trades are going to be harder to replace. It may happen in the future, but for right now, they're going to be harder to replace, and they're going to just try to
they'll be replaced by 3D printers.
Partially, not entirely, but yeah, they'll partially.
Well, yeah, I meant partially.
Well,
but I know, but that's the thing, though, is that if you go back to newspapers from the 1920s, there was talking about the new industrialization will replace everyone and we won't have anybody and no one will have jobs. This is the same pile of crap that they're using to fearmonger people instead of finding a way to solve it, because they don't know how to solve it, or they don't care to solve it because they want people scared, which is the reason why I get kind of not different, but I'm just kind of like, whatever, old man yelling at clouds. I don't care. Like, if you're not going to give me info on how you're going to do it or how you're going to fix it, I don't care. You saying there needs to be a moratorium on data centers. Okay, cool. Let's have Saudi Arabia, the UAE, China, and all of our other enemies build them. So this way they have full control of the data that goes through them. So this way we get screwed. That's brilliant. You stupid old man.
Here's an old Buck Rogers comic from probably the 1930s. Why isn't everything done automatically here? Because people must work or civilization would decay. And I put in 8 hours a day in the new rocket motor school.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't see many travel agents these days, do you?
No.
AAA still has their travel agents.
Oh, really?
Like buggy whip makers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, the big issue for me isn't, I mean, and I think this has been something that's been on other people's minds, is watching a lot of people flood into jobs who aren't even from here. Because it's like,
oh God, sorry. Nobody could hear anything you said for like the last 20 seconds. I apologize to you. I muted the wrong thing.
Fair enough.
It was great though. What you said was really, really good.
Okay.
I apologize.
No, you're fine. I was just saying that when you have a lot of people moving into a country, and you have a lot of people moving into a country, and they're all looking for work, that is my concern far more than AI at this point, because we can have a lot of people have to switch over from white collar to blue collar. They're going to hate it, but they can do it. We can't have a bunch of people coming in while this is going on and grabbing a bunch of jobs, and while people are trying to figure out what to do with their current economic situation. That's just not sustainable.
Do you feel that you have a good education in economics? For like a lay person? I mean, as a citizen, do you feel like you have a pretty good grasp on basic economics?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, a lot of this stuff, like what determines the value of labor? The theories of these things
labor has an intrinsic value, Harry.
Yeah, no, don't start with me, Skep. It goes. I mean, people have been discussing this ever since Adam Smith, and the main thing, looking past all of the complexity is, like over time, the value of labor basically drops to the subsistence level. And what you don't want to do is let that become a thing that happens. And by letting lots of the thing that you're describing just causes that to happen more and more and more.
Mhm.
I can't remember. Do you subscribe to Radical Liberation's channel?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Actually, he's a very nice man. I've spoken with him a few times. He's just a decent human being, and I really like his take on things. Although a lot of the people he has on at the same time, I can't say that you shouldn't, view stuff he has on there critically just because of some of the people he talks to. Be careful who you trust. How many people do I trust, Skep? It's like you, Victor Davis Hansen.
Yeah. The imaginary girlfriend.
Imaginary girlfriend.
Yeah. You want to get
It's a pretty short
that on
list.
Yeah.
God, I hope you trust imaginary.
Yeah, just
you got bigger problems.
just gotta trust fall, and do that sort of stuff. But that Buck Rogers thing reminded me. Gil Gerard passed away. The guy who was played Buck Rogers.
Actor Gil Gerard, best known for his role in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, has died at the age of 82. Buck Rogers was both a movie and a TV series that ran here on NBC from 1979 to 81. Gerard's wife posting a message on Facebook saying her husband succumbed to cancer. She released a statement on his behalf in which the actor said in part, "Don't waste your time on anything that doesn't thrill you or bring you love. See you out somewhere in the cosmos."
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
Good job. I remember that show when I was a little kid. That was it was terrible, but it was one of those things that I loved anyway. And weirdly, they had like all this AI stuff that was going on there. They always talk about AI in Buck Rogers. And one of the tropes that showed up all the time is guy who's unfrozen after 5 centuries performs better than the AI. So he'll just show up and is like, I'm going to get in this space fighter. I'm going to beat all the pirates. Pew, pew, pew. And it's all because the AI and the ship's computers, he could do something that it wouldn't predict. Anti-AI chauvinism from the 1970s. No, but I enjoyed that show. But I think the only people that are left alive who were part of the main cast are Pamela Hemsley and Aaron Gray. But that's just that's one of these things that just happens as you get older. I'm glad he at least made it into his 80s. Good job, Gil. Anyway, that really was a great show. I think I showed a couple years ago, I showed a clip from one of the DVDs of them disco dancing because that was their thing in the 1970s. They're like, you're still going to be discoing in the 25th century because that's a thing that's never going to expire. Disco.
It just never gets old.
Hey, disco music is good, dang it.
Hey, during the disco days, nobody could ever imagine that there would be an end to it.
Harry.
It's like it's just going to go forever, never.
Going out to the disco, man, that was just all 10 kinds of fun.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Listen to a Bee Gees album.
Yeah.
We'll talk, and then otherwise I'll fight you.
The first album I ever bought with my own money was the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack.
Damn right.
On 8-track.
Nice.
One of my first disco albums was Disco Inferno. You remember that by the Tramps?
Yeah.
Burn that mother down.
Yeah, no, that was disco was a lot of fun.
It was.
But I was young. And I sort of outgrew it just like the rest of the world did. But I look back on disco and it's like, you'll never hear me say disco sucks.
No, I look back at it was a kindly bit of insanity we evidently needed to go through to evolve to the current level of non-music that occupies popular music today.
Yeah. Well, back to the AI thing. 1,000 AIs were left to build their own village, and the weirdest civilization emerged. So essentially, they took a bunch of these. Okay, I'll just read the thing. A new society was formed in the blocky landscape of the video game Minecraft. Its citizens built farms and markets, traded resources using emeralds as currency, and even developed forms of governance and religion. Some took on roles as leaders, others as priests, and a few became corrupt, bribing their peers for influence. The community worried about missing members, collaborated to light paths back home, and even persuaded restless farmers to keep feeding the group rather than run off on adventures. To any observer, it might have looked like a quirky, self-organizing human collective, but it wasn't a real collective, and the people playing weren't human or even alive. The residents were 1,000 AI agents unleashed by a company called Fundamental Research Lab, known at the times as Altera AI. The purpose of this grand experiment to set digital minds loose in a virtual world and see what happens. I have to say that I thought that this would be a fun thing to do several years ago. I just never got around to it because apparently nobody was paying me to do all that sort of stuff. It's like what happens in a game of Minecraft with 1,000 NPCs running around.
Yes.
Probably exactly what you would expect to happen.
Well, yeah, the NPCs don't react though. That's the thing. These things react to one another.
Mm-hmm.
And NPCs won't react to one another except in scripted ways.
Well, and they're programmed to act in their self-interest.
Yes.
And so what you're really seeing play out is game theory. So some of the agents have a particular take on what's best for them. Might be cooperation, right? Because it's all fun talking about libertarianism, and if you're don't have a warlord's boot on your neck, right? So some people and other people want to be that warlord with the boot. I just think it's kind of fun that we've reached the point where we can do stuff like this. And why not play Minecraft, right? Why not play Minecraft? I mean, there are other games that we could play. Let's see. No,
Minecraft was good enough for the pioneers. It's good enough for us.
It's when they introduce faction warfare and stuff that will be interesting. You know?
Experiment to train rats to play Doom reaches a new level. Rats can now shoot enemies. Wraparound AMOLED screen provides virtual environment for neuroengineers expanding open source project. So back in 2021, they started doing this little experiment. And so the rats could just sort of walk around, but they didn't have the ability to do much of anything. They weren't able to shoot. They just sort of were in the game walking around. But they've actually refined it now where the rats have the ability. Well, here's a little diagram. So essentially, the way the rats sort of respond to the walls is they blow little puffs of air at their whiskers. And that sort of tells them when they've bumped into something. Because, and so now they also have a trigger so they can fire at things. So they've been working more and more to train these rats how to do this, how to actually play Doom. So the project led by neuroengineer Victor Toth has evolved into a second-generation setup that significantly expands what the rats can do inside the Doom engine. The original version used a clever but limited configuration. Rats stood in a harness over a freely rotating ball with forward movement mapped to movement through a simplified Doom 2 corridor. Rewards came in the form of sweetened water dispensed when the rats performed the desired action. It worked, but only that. There was no real interaction with the game's mechanics, so calling it playing Doom was overstating the case a bit. The new version changes the equation. The updated rig still maps real-world rat movements into a virtual Doom environment, but it now supports more complex navigation and additional inputs. The visual system has been upgraded to curved AMOLED displays that wrap around the rat's field of view, providing a much more immersive and consistent visual environment. To provide the animal with spatial feedback, the system uses targeted gentle air puffs delivered to the rat's snout to indicate wall collisions, essentially a non-invasive way to tell the rat you walked into something without relying on trial and error alone. Yeah, and they gave them a trigger so they can go pew-pew. At the end of this article, they basically say, is this the most important thing? Probably not. But is it an example of what you can do with relatively simple off-the-shelf hardware to try to do any kind of experiment? From that perspective, it's definitely a success because they're doing actual research with very little in the way of expensive technology. All of this is well within the range of a simple basic research grant. So from the perspective of that sort of thing, it seems like it's a pretty successful little thing. And if Sora was here, she'd probably be squealing just a little bit at the idea of rats getting their noses blown on. But she's not here right now.
So cute.
Yeah, look at them.
These little whiskers get stimulated.
I want to play Doom.
Now, next step, rats with guns, and then rats in tiny little mechs fighting tiny little wars for us.
What was it? The Rats from Nim, or what was that? That book. That was a good book when I was very little.
The movie's really good too.
I don't know if I've seen the movies.
Secrets of Nim.
The Secrets of Nim. Yeah.
And there's a sequel that came a few years later.
I've watched that one a few times, as you can imagine.
Yeah. Well, you start when you're really little with Stuart Little, and then you go, that's just baby stuff. I want to hear about rats who have a society.
Well, it's that point where Disney was also engaging a little bit more with the darker end of media, because that was like Black Cauldron too, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Secrets of NIMH was John Bluth, not Disney. So I'm sure.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen the movies. I know I saw the books. I read the books.
But Don Bluth, sorry, Jesus. Miss Frisbee. Oh, golly.
Well, you can really spot Don Bluth animation.
Don Bluth did, I think, work for Disney for a short time, but I don't think Secret of NIMH was one of them.
No.
I'm double checking to make sure I'm right or wrong.
He did that terrible animation in the movie Xanadu, though.
It was production of United Artists and his own production company, and then it was distributed by MGM. So yeah, it wasn't Disney. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a very distinct style, and he did Thumbelina. He did a few other ones. I love Thumbelina. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
He did Fievel. That Fievel was the one.
Oh, that's
Disney
a pretty good
one.
Fievel Goes West. That's a pretty good one.
Both Fievel movies are awesome.
Let me see.
Damn rats distracted us.
No, I'm trying to, let's see, Minions of the, from the Assassin of the Gray. Disco is why we do not have a lunar base, Mars colony, and asteroid mining. Man, when I was watching the Jerry and Sylvia Anderson thing, UFO, the thing that came before Space 1999, you wouldn't think that. You think that disco would be right there on the moon. Disco, mini skirts, just, man, I love I love UFO. That's a great series. And it's one of those things that's terrible, but I love it because it's terrible. I accept it and all of its flaws. Man, I love UFO. Great, great series. I mean, it had such a fantastic theme music to it. It was just really, really great. It's kind of hard. I mean, I don't know. It's so poppy and optimistic.
When was UFO on?
1970.
A minute ago.
Yeah. Okay. How do I stop this from playing? Sorry, I'm just I'm trying to play the music from it from UFO. It had such a great theme to it.
It sounds very Austin Powers-ish too. But
Yeah.
that's that era.
Let's go forward a little bit. I don't know. I like it. I thought it was fun. Anyway, let's see, what were we talking about? Oh, video games. Hey, Geodes.
Mm-hmm.
You'll like this.
Okay.
Billy.
Let's kill the sound.
Oh.
See the tank sneaking up on this
Yeah.
guy? And then the guy says it. Boop.
That's like when you have to have in-game audio muted to not hear that frickin' tank.
Yeah. One of my favorite moments in the game, it was on foot, but I snuck into an enemy base and killed a bunch of enemy players, and then I ran out of ammo, and the last guy turned and killed me. So I was like, all right, well, it was pretty fun.
Bitch.
I enjoyed it. Yeah. I was like, dang, my one fatal weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, not enough pockets.
Yeah.
Where's my bottomless pockets that are always in all these games or in movies or the bottomless magazine?
Yeah.
So there's an update to something we talked about previously. I mentioned that there was a new NASA administrator, Isaacman, who'd been nominated. Well, he was actually finally approved. And so he's there and he knows what the mission is because Trump said, oh, yeah, we're going to go to the moon. We're going to do all these things. And he's just saluting and saying, yes, sir. And I told you that I was generally impressed with the guy, but he's in a very difficult position of being asked to do a lot of expensive things without a lot of money to do them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really hoping that he does a good job of helping NASA become a better version of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because
NASA's got a lot of bloat, I bet.
he has a tough job. I almost think, I mean, not as hard as being governor of California, and doing it well, but it's like the
yeah.
second hardest thing to do, I think. And I did notice that his ears stick out a lot further than I had realized.
Oh, poor baby.
He could be on like British Money. That's what I'm talking about here.
No, it's adult Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
Just give his hair a little bit longer, get a little swirl.
Hey,
this man went on to become like an intel collector with those ears and hearing, but he couldn't quite make it. So now he's in NASA.
Well, he's a self-made billionaire apparently. So
there you go.
Well, remember I've pointed out that the Russians, because essentially there's 3 players in this big space thing, and then there's a few minor players, but it's China, the United States, and Russia. Yeah. And Russia, bless their hearts, with their economy the size of Spain, is trying to do many things simultaneously. Having a world-class military, just all the things they're trying to do. It must suck to be Russia. They had plans for a new space station after the ISS is decommissioned. And the original plan was that they were going to build a whole new Russian space station, brand new, and put it in a polar orbit so that they could actually access it readily from a launch site in the Soviet Union. Well, not Soviet Union, Russia. In Russia. Sorry, I'm old. I just say Soviet Union reflexively. Let's watch Clint Eastwood and Firefox again. Anyway, they were going to build this whole new thing and put it in a polar orbit, and that was going to be great because it would just circle over Russia all the time and it'd be easy to get to.
If they could see
new plan.
Yeah.
New plan is let's not do that and instead do something way less cool. They're going to take the stuff that basically they provided to the ISS, detach it, add some new modules to it, and leave it in its current orbit that can really only be reached from their launch site in Kazakhstan. Because the Baikonur space launch facility isn't even in Russia. It's in one of their former satellites. Because of where Russia exists, it's actually very hard to reach the ISS from any site that launches there. It becomes prohibitively expensive. They have to launch from another country. So all of the goals of this thing, shiny, new, impressive, we can reach it from our own country, aren't going to be accomplished. I don't even know if this thing is ever going to happen. But the big shiny plan is gone to be replaced by the new, less shiny, less interesting plan.
I feel like bless their hearts needs to be said.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're going to recycle a bunch of ISS components. And aside from the fact that it sucks because it's old and crappy, there is the question from some naysayers that weird things seem to be happening up there in terms of fungus and bacteria and viruses of all the people who visited there that have existed in this weird environment. They're thinking a clean slate might be a really good thing, but it'll be fine.
A really good idea.
Yeah, it'll be fine. All of that weird stuff that's been evolving to just eat the space station and destroy the inhabitants, all that Andromeda strain stuff that's been growing up there, it'll be fine, right?
No, it's fine.
Just,
Maybe they should just build a big space elevator and just say be done with it.
Yeah,
just tether it to the Earth.
I just don't know. I just don't know what this accomplishes other than them being able to say, "Duh, we have space station." That's because they wouldn't want to have the Chinese have a space station and the Americans have a space station, which would be privately built and operated, by the way.
Well, I was about to say, has China gotten a rocket off good enough and kept it up good enough to where they can actually have a space station?
They do. They have a space station.
Yeah, they have one.
Is it not complete dog shit?
Well, I mean, it might be dog shit because they keep blowing stuff up. And there was a problem recently where the vehicle that they were supposed to return 3 people in to Earth was damaged by space debris, more than likely caused by them blowing up satellites to test their satellite. Yeah. They're not being particularly responsible about stuff. They didn't think this plan through. Hey, let's demonstrate our new anti-satellite weapon. Hey, let's fill our orbit full of crap. So yes, they do have a space station. I don't know what they're doing up there.
I don't think they do either.
I mean, man, space stations are really not the sexiest thing. Unless it's going to get you to somewhere else. I mean,
and unless we can somehow figure out artificial gravity, they're not going to be cool until we get to that point. If we even can.
Well, we've got robots. You can, if you want to just do an experiment, you can send a cheap satellite up, do the thing remotely, and then bring your results back down for a fraction of the price of keeping humans living in orbit.
Well, yeah, but they want to prove that they can do what the Americans did years ago.
Yeah, well, the Chinese have already said they're going to put a man on the moon. And so whether Artemis or something else gets us to the moon before the Chinese or not, it's like, I think we've already licked that particular donut.
56 years too late there, boys.
Yeah, it's fine. Oh, speaking of the moon, remember Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Wasn't he was formerly sort of a moon skeptic, wasn't he?
Oh, God. Moon landing or just moon?
Moon landing skeptic.
Oh, my God.
No, he was pretty sure there was a moon there. So AI isn't all bad. This is a thing that somebody made with AI, and I endorse this. Okay.
Needs answers. When the world needs answers, one man is asking the questions. Oh no, a hairless chimp is going after Marshall. G.I. Joe Rogan, move in! He's hurt. Initiate recovery protocol. Activate heat shot proteins in the Ways to Well playset. Quick heal with BPC 157.
They went deep on this.
Get to work. It's time to uncover the truth.
How big was the craft?
Oh no, it's Alex Jones.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water.
G.I. Joe Rogan playset comes loaded with official on-it accessories. It also includes limited edition compound bow and realistic elk target. Bring home the full G.I. Joe Rogan playset today.
I bet he's a fanny pack.
I like the GI. I like all of his little friends. There's Elon Musk in the background.
Yeah.
I don't see a Huberman figurine.
Where's Trump?
Yeah. There's an alien. Mm-hmm. There's a guy with a wizard staff. Not sure who that is. Oh, that's the Grand Druid, probably. Yeah.
Probably.
Good times. I mean, without AI, it would be a pain in the ass to make this. It's totally worth destroying our power grid and everything else just so we can make stupid cartoons.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get no argument from me.
So, a Statue of Liberty in Brazil fell. There was like a terrible windstorm, and this thing actually fell down. And I started thinking, oh, well, it's probably just some shitty knockoff.
No, I think it was another one done by France, I think.
It was actually one of the few that was made by the same guy and the same people that produced the original. The only difference is instead of being made of copper, I think it's made of nickel.
Ugh.
But yeah, like, it seems like maybe you should secure the base of this thing a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Brazil. They're
because the statue itself would have been there pretty much forever if you just anchored it properly. Brazil.
Yeah, that definitely fell.
That requires money.
Of course, you know, the idiots on the internet are saying, "Oh, it's symbolic of this and that and the other thing." You know, this is all the terrible things happening. You know, this symbol of America falling. But yeah, it's actually about half the size of the real thing, or at least it was. And I did not know that. I figured almost all of the other statues of liberty were just knockoffs. You know, just cheap fakes. No, they actually made a few of them. But this is the only other one that was made by the same people. I think it's the only one that was made by the original. See, there are hundreds of Statue of Liberty replicas around the world, but this is one of the few that were created by Bartholdi himself, and just another example of the enduring popularity of Lady Liberty as a symbol. Yeah. So apparently most of them are knockoffs. I'm pretty sure that the one in Vegas is a cheap fake.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like that's not a real Venetian moat, and yeah, not a real pyramid. And is there anything that's real in Vegas?
No, but that's what makes Vegas fun.
Yeah, exactly.
The financial loss is real.
It's the show.
Only for the idiots who gamble.
Yeah.
But like, it's one of those things where it's kind of like, okay, it's representing the fall of America. Then shouldn't it be the Statue of Liberty that's in the United States that should be falling?
Don't give me any
not the
ideas.
one in Brazil.
Don't give me any ideas. Oh God!
Clearly, we lost. It's one of those things where we've lost control of our satellite state of Brazil. You know, how
because they're not part of BRICS or anything like that, and lined up.
Yeah,
I'm amazed cocaine didn't pop out of her butt. Well, because that'd be a good place to hide it. Or no, that's too dark. I'm not going to say that.
It's okay. We still like you. All right, let me see. You are
I don't like myself, Harry.
You're going to disappear in 13 minutes to go take care of dogs. Let's see. What can we do in the next 13 minutes?
What about the other toy I sent you, the voice controlled ones.
Am I going to regret this, Geodes?
No, is the Transformers.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you don't have that in the spreadsheet. I'll have to make things. Sorry, I have to fix this.
Jeez, Harry, come on.
I suck so much.
I was waiting for it after the G.I. Joe one. Not going.
Okay, here you go. Here you go, Geodes. Japan trials 100 kilowatt laser weapon. It can cut through metal and drones mid-flight.
All right, now we're talking.
Now.
Let's see this.
Now, this is just a trial. The problem is this ship does not have enough power to run that thing for very long. It's really 10 kilowatt lasers, and they merge the beam together to take things out. And it doesn't have like the high enough firing rate. But ultimately, everybody's talking about drones like they're this huge paradigm shift in warfare. And to my way of seeing this thing, just being an armchair. I mean, I'm not a complete idiot when it comes to this stuff. I'm not completely uneducated when it comes to it. But the problem with the lasers is, power consumption and heat. You have to basically engineer your way around that, and they haven't done it yet. But once they get this stuff dialed in, like on the American ships that have an extra reactor just because.
Oh, random! I don't know where that reactor came from.
It's going to be really interesting to have these things because all of these swarms of drones just bat them out of the sky.
Oh, you can generate a lot of power.
Am I not showing it?
Yeah, you're not.
Of course, I'm not. Why would I?
That's what I was like. Harry keeps talking like he's showing us something, and I'm
I'm totally showing you something. So
look at the little ship. Look at the little baby ship.
Yeah.
Look at the little.
That's a destroyer escort. It looks like.
It's a baby.
No, that's a destroyer.
So the things they're going to put this on are systems that have the Aegis system that they've basically bought from us.
Yeah.
So once you have like something that can sell the laser where to point and what to kill, that problem has been pretty much solved.
Or as I've heard it called once by someone who was in the Navy, horny R2D2.
The problem with all this is if you're just some little shithole country, you can build a bunch of shitty drones and send them at that. And then essentially we, to protect our assets, have to spend tremendous amounts of money on really complicated technology to... So like thousands of dollars worth of drones force us to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on research and deployment of these systems, billions by the time we're done with all of this. That's pretty good leverage. If you can spend thousands of dollars and force your enemy to spend billions of dollars in response, you're doing really good. Yeah, that's a good return on investment if you just want to be some asshole country. So
it's an economic weapon.
I mean, you could arguably say it's a win for the person with the drones.
Right.
I just don't want our aircraft carriers getting sunk by a bunch of Heathkit Radio Shack nonsense coming out of Somalia. So instead of sending very, very expensive kinetic weapons at them, this is the way that we're ultimately going to end up dealing with this stuff.
This is the way.
This is the way.
The way. I say most of these, if the drones have cameras on them, just have the green lasers like the assholes who keep trying to put green lasers in pilots' eyes when they're trying to land giant jets at major airports. Just put green lasers and just have them go out and just hit every camera on those drones because they're going to have to be far enough away that they need cameras of some kind.
Yeah, there's not going to be a spool of fiber optics going 100 kilometers away. That's like a little beyond the range of these things.
So I just have the green lasers that can find and just go dink and just have them be like Three Stooges, just poke them in the eyeballs.
or just say, unleash the disco ball, and it's just a disco ball of green lasers that just pops up from the top of the ship and just like blinds everybody.
I think we might see EMF-based weapons that handle 100%. This before the lasers are actually done, though. I think there's going to be an interim technological development.
Well, it's like with the war in Ukraine, one of the smartest things they did was putting cameras on the drones. So this way, when the Russian soldiers try to pull because the Russian soldiers have been told that if they see a drone and it has a bomb on it, to drop their weapon and act like they were already surrendering, not that they actually were. So now that they have cameras on it, they can have the Russian being seen firing at them. And then when they realize, oh, there's a bomb on the bottom, they're like, oh no, I surrender. You can't drop that on me.
Well, there are parts of Ukraine right now that look like they've been infested with giant spiders. I mean, it's like there's like this huge just mass of fiber optic cables over some of these regions.
Which is very, very dangerous thing to do.
Well,
yeah. Because as someone who had to deal with an ISP who got their fiber cut a lot because of both incompetence and people who thought it was a giant copper line. It's real easy to take fiber optic out.
Yeah. Why were they disappointed?
Oh, I know, it was hilarious. Apparently, it happened in California near San Luis Obispo, and a homeless person took a giant chunk out of the fiber.
Nice.
Thinking it was copper, and it's like, no, honey, it's glass. You did nothing. Way to go.
You can floss your teeth with it.
Hey, Harry.
Yeah?
I got the link for you in the side panel.
You mean for that thing you want me to show?
Yes.
Pushy.
Yes. This is awesome.
Okay. Let's see.
I give you boom boom. And now Harry has
check
to
this link. It's giving me a message saying, "Are you sure you want to visit this site?"
It should be that one.
Geodes, are you trying to?
It's probably got a dead security certificate.
Yeah, that's it right there. See?
Yes, we go.
Transform.
The amount of intelligence that had to go into designing these toys to transform like that.
This is what adult money buys you for toys.
Well, it would if he actually paid for it. He doesn't pay for it. Jordan doesn't buy any of that stuff. They get paid.
Transform.
They send it to him.
It's
still cool.
For reference, each one of these is a little over $1,000.
Oh yeah.
That was a whole process. Oh my gosh.
This is all very silly, Geodes.
It's still great though.
It is pretty great.
Yes.
If it could actually turn into a usable kitchen appliance and then turn into a thing, that would be good. So like if you had like a juicer that then turned into like some kind of fighting robot, that would be awesome.
Harry.
Then you could just keep them around all the time.
It's not. No.
So you are you saying you want Transformers?
I want a
taskers in disguise.
I want a pasta maker that turns into a helicopter. That's what I want.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah. You want Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you want a robot vacuum that turns into a rat killer. I think is what you want.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to do that.
Give it a knife.
So we have there's another little bit of drama that came up. So you've heard about like the woman who claims that some guy flashed her when she delivered DoorDash, and
oh yeah, the dumb bitch.
You've heard about the dumb bitch. Well, there's another one that came out, and it's not her. It's here, I'll let this woman talk about it a little bit.
Girl, we got DoorDash pepper spray, girl, but that was not enough DoorDash crime. We have the DoorDash seafood boil bandit.
Bro, I swear to fucking God, bro, DoorDash counts your fucking days.
This is a creator.
Yeah, so basically, this woman said that she was suffering with menstrual cramps and all that sort of stuff. So she bought a seafood boil, and it was delivered by Shaquanda. Now, they claimed it was delivered, but when she went out, there was nothing actually there.
Yeah.
So these sleuths on the internet, when this woman went on social media, because she's a content creator, and talked about how somebody stole her seafood boil when she's miserable, the internet sleuths went out and found everybody named Shaquanda in her area. And then the woman said, oh yeah, that's it. That's her. That's her. Now, to add insult to injury, Shaquanda had actually gone online and made videos talking about how good the crab boil was that she got. You know, just sort of like one of these dumb criminals that displays their crime online. So now we've got Shaquanda, and this is like the third DoorDash thing that's been going on.
They bullied her into the shadow realm, dude. They were going back to videos she had posted years ago, leaving angry comments. So she deletes that TikTok. She makes a whole new one. They find that one too. She deletes that one. She makes a new one. They find the third one. People are so sick of this DoorDash buffoonery that they are following these criminals into every lifetime. So there's no legal justice this time, but DoorDash did ban Quayshonda, and she is constantly being bullied off the internet.
Quayshonda, excuse me. I apologize. Quayshonda.
Sure? But couldn't it be Qshonda?
No, it's Quay.
Quay?
I believe. Okay.
That is the Quay?
Okay.
That is the Quay.
Man, well, because there was the woman who sprayed pepper spray on the DoorDash delivery.
God, that made me mad.
And then there was the woman who walked into the guy's house to be aggressively flashed. Supposedly, the guy, he just wanted something to eat, and he passed out on the sofa without any pants on. As one does. Apparently,
he was also drunk. Like,
yeah,
man,
it's his apartment. She's the one that opened the unlocked door. Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, all this drama stuff is stupid. I wonder how much more we're going to see before the internet decides they don't care anymore.
Oh, it'll never fully go away. It'll just morph slowly into something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
or it'll cycle back to something that has happened before. Kind of like Tide Pods or something.
In the section called State that I just titled States Worse Than California, we have this new 1 mile per hour speed limit penalty comes into force in just weeks. So Kathy Hochul, everybody's favorite governor of, I thought it was New York. Yeah, New York State. See, so the new rules take effect in New York and are designed to improve road safety. Sanctions range from higher point penalties to lower license suspension thresholds. It's part of their 2023 Achieving the New York Dream agenda. So cops are going to be able to pull you over if you're going 1 mile above the speed limit. 1 mile per hour.
Didn't they try this under Nixon or somebody? Not like one of these presidencies like a few decades ago?
So does that mean they're just going to have like a flat rate? Because it used to be, at least in my home state, it's like it goes up ever so however much you're over the speed limit. So like if you're like 50 over the speed limit, the ticket's more than if you're like 10.
Yes. Yeah.
But is it still doing that, or are they making it a flat rate?
Yeah. Well, no. It's not flat rate. What they're doing is they're making it easier for you to lose your license, and the threshold at which they will come after you to penalize you has been dropped all the way down to 1 mile per hour.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not explaining something.
Yeah.
What is the incentive for the cop to write the ticket for someone going at only one over?
Well, they're not going to fine a huge ticket to them, but that person would get points on their license.
Okay. Then this goes to the whole, or why would a cop waste their time on a 1 mile per hour when they can go after a 5, 10, 15, whatever? Well,
if you're just looking to rack up the biggest penalties, absolutely. But if you want to strike fear into your populace and make them behave, this is a great law to have around. Because it's like going to, what is that place? Dubai, right? Where no matter what you're doing, just existing, you're probably breaking 50 laws. And whether or not you go to jail... Yeah, whether or not you go to jail is really dependent on the mood of the person who's able to put you in jail. It just gives them a stick so that pretty much almost everybody who isn't 5 miles an hour below the speed limit in New York State stands the chance of possibly getting a ticket. If you look at the different tire sizes that are available and how accurate speedometers are and all these sort of things, 1 mile per hour is within the error bars. You could absolutely be driving around thinking you're going exactly the maximum speed limit and be over it by a couple miles per hour. So if they do aggressively enforce this, it gives them every excuse to pull over anybody that they want to. And that could just be a pretext to bringing out the drug-sniffing dog that you've trained to alert whenever you make a little noise, to any number of things that shitty cops can do when shitty cops decide to pull people over. Okay, but at the same time, if you're going over the speed limit before this law, they could still pull you over, even if you were only going 1 or 2 over. So they could have done it before. I'm not
I'm not understanding.
You're thinking there's no you're thinking there's no delta with this law. And
Well,
I believe that the minimum threshold for tickets before was what was it? Normally it'd be like they would only go after people 10 miles an hour over unless they were looking for an excuse to pull you over. But I think the threshold right now is 5 miles an hour. So that's how much grace you have.
New York is very different than West Virginia because West Virginia there is no grace.
Yeah.
If you're going one over, they can come after you. So that's the reason why it's not processing for me because that's the way it's always been here.
Well, but that's just the error bars. I mean,
yeah.
Essentially, if you make it so you have an excuse to pull over any car on the road, then that's just one more lever that they can pull to abuse people.
I'm also watching the two men hug in the.
Are two men hugging? I think they're fighting.
Yeah. They're fighting, air quotes.
Yeah.
One guy's trying to choke the other guy out, but it's like, honey, you have a puffer jacket on. That's going to be harder to do.
Yeah. Look at him looking around. Hey. He's just trying to see what he can get away with.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
But
so you need to go deal with dogs.
I need to take care of puppy.
Okay.
Type it in the side chat because I can. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
So let's see. I can't talk about this tech thing. Well, we can talk about a tech thing. Okay. Hey, let's see, who was it that was asking about long-term storage? Was that you, Geodes?
I'm not sure. That might have been maybe functional. I don't know.
No, it was somebody who was asking me about how to go about really long-term storage, and I thought it might be you, but maybe I'm wrong. So 5D glass storage memory crystals promise up to 13.8 billion years of data storage resilience, which is roughly the age of the universe. Yeah, thanks for that. Crams 360 terabytes onto a 5-inch glass disc with a femtosecond laser. Look at that.
Yeah.
So this is your preserve human knowledge forever thing, pretty much.
That's awesome.
That is really, really awesome. I think it writes at about 4 megabytes a second and reads at about 4 times that. So as a long-term archival storage, write once, read many, this is pretty cool technology because this is what you need, because things like SSDs, if you power them off, they just lose data. The oxide literally will fall off of, rotating disk media will not last forever. Even optical disks are only good for maybe 100 or 200 years, depending on how they're stored.
Yeah.
Most of the data that we have is very, very fragile. So coming up with long-term data storage things, I think it's pretty cool. I think this is a great little bit of technology. It's not something you can go out to Micro Center and buy just yet, but we're probably a few years away from this either working or them giving up on it.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember this was, 2 years ago, I want to say, you were asking me if you should watch Dr. Stone. And that actually, there's a scene like this in Dr. Stone because they were playing a song that somebody managed to sing, and they got recorded on like a piece of glass, like a glass disc. And it was like the last song of this like well-known singer, and they were trying to play it for this one character, and the character's like, "Is it possible for you to recover all the other media?" And they go, "Oh no, all that media is gone. Like it eroded long ago because of the way the timing worked for the timeline worked." But I think this is actually pretty neat.
We need to take all of Tom Lehrer's stuff, put it on one of these discs, put it on a satellite, shoot it out into the. Shoot it out into
That's
space.
What should have been on Voyager.
That's
1.
what should have been on Voyager 1 and 2. That gold album was deficient in that it didn't have any Tom Lehrer songs on it.
Not a one.
And I think just a little bit less of Carl Sagan because of that. Hey, do help me keep an eye on chat, please. Because I cannot do this all by myself. How about...
Chat getting away from us? Are they getting rowdy?
No, I don't know if they're getting rowdy or not. I can't multitask that much.
I understand.
I have commented with chat a few times, but I'm trying to do better. So I've told you about Jeff Geerling before, right? And he does really, really great videos on stuff. And so they made a recent change to Mac OS, which has some pretty interesting implications. So what they've done is they've enabled a technology called RDMA. Now, for those of you at home, What that allows is, over a very high-speed, low-latency network, you can treat the memory on another computer as if it's your own memory. You can directly access it. So when you cluster these computers together using RDMA, you have one continuous memory space that everything can access. So like the big computers and data centers that cost an insane amount of money for doing grand challenge problems and AI and all this stuff, a lot of those have this sort of stuff, and it runs over this very expensive fabric called InfiniBand.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know was what's the bus speed? Because it looks like...
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So this is a thing that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to put together on any kind of scale. But what Apple did was pretty clever. They took the Thunderbolt ports, which like the Thunderbolt 4 and Thunderbolt 5, 180 gigabits a second, with very low latency. And they've actually set it up now so you can take take 4 of these like Mac Studios. They sent these out to multiple creators, by the way, and they all ran similar sorts of tests. And they were able to run AI models on these things where they had access to all of this memory on these multiple nodes that needed like 500 gigabytes of memory. You know, things that you have no business running on like a home system. And sure, it's like $30,000 worth of equipment. But I think this is kind of cool because it's really just, we have this hardware, we're just going to make this small software change and open up a whole new set of applications for high-end customers. And instead of spending thousands and thousands of kilowatts and hundreds of thousands of dollars, you can have one of these little clusters with like 4 of these units. These are the expensive ones. These are the expensive ones. They have like the M3 Ultra chips on them, and 512 gigabytes of memory on 2 of them each. And you can just run these insane models because you can actually cluster them. And you don't need InfiniBand. You just use the built-in Thunderbolt that's between them.
That's amazing. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, it's actually super cool. Because this seems like a lot of money, but they're actually putting something almost unattainable within the price tag of people doing, basic kind of research. And the whole thing is using less than 500 watts of power while you're running these models. You're not lighting the entire... Yeah, these are like super efficient chips. So you can run this thing flat out running some of the most complicated AI models that are there on your desktop.
Excellent.
And only use, less power than a space heater. I think it's pretty cool. But they sent these out. Mm-hmm. Apple was very smart. They sent these out to multiple creators who all produced almost exactly the same video. I don't know if they knew that or if they just handled them a script. But, some of these models that they're doing are just insane. Let me just play a little Jeff here.
And llama.cpp over the same setup. For HPL, I got 1.3 teraflops with a single M3 Ultra. With all 4 put together, I got 3.7, which is less than a 3 times.
Yeah, and that's over gigabit Ethernet. But then you enable RDMA, and suddenly things start to get really, really fun with the more massive models.
Active parameters at any given time. That's what the A is for on the A32B there. But we're still getting around 30 tokens per second.
Yeah, it gets a little technical. I apologize, but I think this is really cool that you have perfectly cromulent hardware, and you just do a little bit of a software change, and then suddenly it can be used for all kinds of new stuff. Sorry, I'm out here all by myself on this one.
No,
I can tell.
that's what the promise always was in these things.
Well, okay, Assassin of the Gray saying they were paid to make these propaganda videos. There may have been some money that changed hands. I have a feeling they were all given like examples of things to do. They were definitely loaned the equipment and given a chance to make a splash. So whether they were paid in terms of money or in kind, I don't know. You decide. But it's still super cool because they're putting out these results and the results are reproducible. It isn't just some claim like, this made my hair really light and fluffy.
Yeah,
these are numbers that people can go out and duplicate themselves.
Yep.
Yeah. I just like I don't really like AI stuff. I'd rather see somebody use this to do something completely different, like big simulations. But if you can get like a teraflop of computation with terabytes of memory on your desktop, you're like doing stuff that supercomputers dreamed of 10 years ago on your desk without a data center. All right, moving on.
Without a data center.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Believe.
Let's see. DoorDash Girl, Japanese lasers, states worse than California. Oh yeah, we have this uniparty here in California. So mostly they can just ignore things that happen until they get really, really bad. So turns out I-5 down near San Diego has had 3 major shutdowns in the last few months. One of them lasted 8 hours. If you can imagine a major highway
in San Diego shut down
for 8 hours with people stuck.
That's historic.
How many jugs of urine do you have to throw out of your car window at a certain point? I mean, we're all Amazon drivers today. And
no kidding.
And the reason for the 8-hour one was because somebody was threatening to jump off a bridge. And again, I know I'm just the asshole here. I don't want people to jump off bridges, and I do want you to talk them down. But holding that many people hostage for 8 hours,
no,
that's just not reasonable.
Blow the guy's head off, let him fall into the water, and wave people on through to work.
Yeah, could you hurry up and make up your mind? People have things to do.
Send Dirty Harry up to the bridge to, coax him down.
Yeah, I mean, it's untenable to live in a place where this kind of stupidity happens. To allow something like that to happen. There was a case in California about 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago, where some first responders were trying to help somebody in an accident. So fire trucks were there and they were blocking, I think, 3 lanes of traffic while they were trying to provide assistance or aid to somebody who was critically injured. And a highway patrol officer came up and told them to move the fire trucks because they had to get the traffic moving. And they ended up arresting the fireman who was and this became like a whole case. And they're busy, so we've got the Secretary of State of California. Well, not the Secretary of State, the Attorney General of California has got their office basically defending the highway patrol officer for arresting a firefighter that was in the middle of trying to save somebody's life because they didn't move out of the way. And so what is the right answer in this situation? You can't just hold 100,000 people captive for hours and hours and hours. But at the same time, you don't want first responders not to be able to safely do their job when you're dealing with somebody that's critically injured. I think that's a very similar case to this sort of thing. I mean, I'm sorry, make up your mind.
You need an on-scene executive to make decisions.
Yeah.
To mitigate this kind of conflict.
But 8 hours is just, no. It's like, hey, could you move over a little bit? And if you're going to jump, like aim for this lane and then just open the other lanes up or something.
I would push him off.
Yeah.
Push him off. Let's go.
Just, isn't there like a truck full of mattresses somewhere we can just wheel under here?
Yeah,
and
we'll drive it under.
Just hit them with the taser and then they fall into the giant fun balloon. But yeah, the government is here to help and they're going to, they're going to have like committees and meetings and talk about it. Absolutely useless. The problem is that just California is just gutless. They're not willing to do what needs to be done.
Not on any level.
Not on any level.
They've become a timid.
Feckless. I think feckless is a good word.
Feckless, yes, without effect. That's where we get the word effect. From the word feckless, which is actually a Dutch word. Feckless. From feckus.
But much to my surprise, ever after that thing with that Katie Porter woman, that terrible, unlikable, awful, dreadful woman, it's like currently still the 2 people in the lead in the governor's race and all the polls are just 2 Republicans. Maybe
that's funny.
Maybe
that's funny.
It would certainly be interesting if we got another governor in who actually didn't suck and would start sort of getting things into order.
Well, get ready.
I'm not holding my breath. I know.
Yeah. And the cities that have the problems are going to remain in the hands of progressives for now.
I mean, your Basses and, basically Oakland and LA are the two worst of them.
Absolutely.
Just absolutely the worst. Yeah, if you have a shitty mayor, you're going to have a shitty town. That's just, the blue cities and stuff are pretty terrible. There was, so after the whole Bondi Beach thing that happened, where there was some anti-Semitic violence that occurred down in Australia.
That's correct.
There was a mayor in the East Bay who's very pro-Palestinian and made some comments about it. So screenshots captured by the Jewish Community Relations Council, blah, 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 show this guy Martinez reposting content from a Palestinian activist and professor who speculated that an Israeli soldier might have committed the Bondi attack, essentially an Alex Jones false flag allegation kind of thing. Those tend to get you in trouble and make you very poor if you're saying the wrong kind of thing. Another repost featured an image of a Star of David alongside the caption, "The root cause of anti-Semitism is behavior of Israel and Israelis." He later deleted these posts because it's really hard to be a politician in California and be just openly anti-Semitic. Be careful who you decide to have to hold up as your heroes.
No kidding. Anybody who knows what the situation is and still backs the quote unquote Palestinian side is a fraud. They're a liar. If they know the facts, there are a lot of people who have been misled by the propaganda that's flying around that is coming from the left mostly against Israel, but some of it's coming from the right. There's kind of a horseshoe effect with anti-Semitism,
and specifically the people in Gaza. That bunch of asshats.
In Gaza, you have a group of people who basically have festered for the entire time they have existed. And these are the Arab cast-offs. These are Jordanian, Egyptian people. There's no such thing as Palestinians. There's no Palestinian people. These people are from Jordan or they're from Egypt. Maybe they were born in that region, but their parents they came from Egyptian and Jordanian roots almost to a person. A few of them were even born in Israel, and all they want is for Israel to be destroyed. That's the only thing they want. They'll sacrifice anything. They'll sacrifice their children, and they educate their children to hate Israel, to hate Yehudi, to hate the Jews, and from a very, very early age. And it has been again and again where they get together, they mob up on the Jews, and the Jews beat the shit out of them and beat them back into the Stone Age. And they accumulate weapons and stuff for a while and do it again and again. And finally, after October 7th, Israel just said, okay, we've had the course. That's it.
Yeah.
And they essentially did almost a nuclear job on Gaza.
Well, they can't win the battles, so they're going after Jews, the diaspora.
Right.
And,
exactly.
These are people that can't be in society with the rest of us. These kind of people that are just...
they have to go live by themselves.
Yeah, they need... Yeah, I think that the island where we display their struggles to survive as a show to raise money to pay the victims is probably too good for them.
All kidding aside, they're going to have to be in a refugee camp, and it's going to have to be in some place like South Sinai. Seriously, it's going. I'm not even kidding. They are going to have to. They can't live in Gaza. They can't come back to Gaza. It's too proximate to Israel.
Well, I don't want to bring race into it, but let's just say culture. You compare and contrast what's going on there with the troubles in Ireland.
Oh, Lord.
And you notice that terrible things happened and people reconciled and managed to, for the sake of peace, put stuff behind them. It's really, really hard.
You hear that won't happen here.
That won't happen here.
That cannot happen.
They're just not culturally wired for that kind of stuff.
No, it's almost evolutionary. It's almost one of those things where nurture finally became nature.
Yeah.
And that hate is almost genetic at this point for Jews. And so that's why I've been advocating loudly for so long that those people have to leave that region. They've shown that they can't live with regular modern societies.
Well, we don't have functional here, but
I'm Jew adjacent.
But so I guess in Toronto, somebody's launched a thing called Jew Ride, and it's supposed to be safe rides for Jews because of rising tide of anti-Semitism. You know, the market always provides a solution, doesn't it, Skep?
Absolutely.
Are you scared to leave the house?
Yeah, where there is demand, no, there's just, all there is a service waiting for the money to be put into action. That's the way economies work.
Well, I was thinking, because I generally like humanity, and I'm kind of from the Don Rickles school of, you make fun of people, you make fun of the people you love. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about sort of the Jewish stereotype in this story when I first saw it. I was thinking about a guy sitting in the back of the car going, like a real nebbish guy, just kind of going, hey, I like this ride. I was going to give it 5 stars, but the air, it just keeps hitting me in the neck.
Yeah, it's the neck right here.
Just right here.
Right here. See,
it's just a draft.
Feel it with your finger how cold it is.
I'm trying to enjoy the ride. It's just a real nebbish guy.
I heard you can get lumbago from this.
Now, you may legitimately say, is this a real thing, or is it just something that somebody made up on X? Well, I mean, how can you tell? There's a website. Yeah. It's called jewride.com, if it'll ever load. It's like...
Jewride launches in Toronto.
Yeah. Airport transfers, event transport, weddings, trips, and charter services offered.
That is so sad.
So you've got your welcome to Jewride. The quote's free. That's always good. Trusted and secure, positive attitude, reliable service. This really shouldn't be necessary, Skep.
I know. That's why I say it's a sad commentary on our society that we have to have something where, hey, you can be assured of using this public service without being hurt.
I mean, it wouldn't be any better if it was like, ride our Catholic chariot or our, Baptist bus or whatever.
No, or anything, or Uber for black people.
Yeah.
If you just really want that black vibe, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, your driver, Quashonda.
Yeah, exactly.
Will definitely not steal stuff out of your luggage. As long as you don't put a crab boil in there, it'll be fine. Quashonda.
Yeah.
Good God. Yeah, this seems like it shouldn't be necessary, but here we are. This is the current year.
As a private passenger transportation company, we offer pickup with
savings so good. If you don't use it, it's a Shonda. Anyway.
You ride, you pay.
Yeah, you ride, you pay. That's nice. You better trademark that while you still can.
Wait.
Well, let's see. We'll save. I have to save this Star Trek thing for when Functional is here. We can't do that. Oh, yeah. So how about this? So I've recommended this channel before. I know a lot of other people like other aviation channels, but I really like this retired military pilot guy. I kind of like his style. He's very laid back. He's just some guy who really comes off as knowing what he's talking about, and he does really great shorts. So here's one of his.
You're going to love this.
Mark Hasera.
At 35,000 feet. He's sitting at 36,000 feet, and I'm going to try and send him an airdrop. Let's see what happens.
So basically, here's an airline pilot. There's another big plane 1,000 feet above him. They're both flying in on approach. And so he's got a picture of this guy's plane, and he's going to use Apple AirDrop to try to send it to the plane that's 1,000 feet away. And you know what? It actually works.
Captain Lou is about to bring a new meaning to the word airdrop.
Singapore 1-2 is Nippon Cargo. You guys on air still?
Yeah, so he basically, let's go forward here, sends it to him with his
1,000
iPhone.
feet apart. Longest airdrop in iPhone history, maybe?
It's thinking.
It's sending.
But this is really cool.
Why are two airliners 1,000 feet apart?
By altitude, because they're both on approach.
As
long as the Z coordinate is different, that's less of a problem than the X or the Y. Because they're not moving a lot relative to each other on the Z coordinate.
Gotcha.
You know, versus trying to miss each other while going 400 miles an hour each. Trying to miss each other coming head on, that's definitely a lot harder. But delta V on that Z-axis is fairly small. So this is a short-range protocol. I'm actually kind of shocked that using some sort of Bluetoothy sort of thing through the aluminum skin of those two planes with 1,000 feet, that something like this would actually work. I think this is almost like an Easter miracle that this actually managed to function.
It wouldn't work with iron skin planes, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
But aluminum being non-ferrous.
Well, the people in the passenger compartment are all being told not to use their phones and stuff while the pilots are busy beaming images of their planes to each other through the air. I think some of you don't want people running around running amateur radio equipment in the cabin or something, but I think the threat from modern cell phones is pretty minimal for airplanes from what I understand.
That's what I understand too. I want to make sure, though, anything I say, we are speaking publicly. So
yeah,
everybody should follow the cabin instructions on your aircraft. And when they say turn your cell phone off, turn your cell phone off.
Well, I like those videos.
Airplane mode is there for.
Well, I like those videos where people get dragged off of airplanes. You know, like somebody gets a little drunk and mouthy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you get to see those videos. The best ones.
Frog march through the airport.
The best ones are the sovereign citizens being arrested ones. I really like those.
Yes.
But I'm traveling.
Not flying. I'm traveling.
I'm traveling. Right? I'm not contracting with you.
Yes.
You know, license and registration. I've handed you this stack of documents that I printed off the internet. Isn't that enough for you? And then they break their windows and drag them out. They're like, yeah, why are you doing this? That's glorious. It's pretty great.
Jackpot when they get tased.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's pretty cool when that happens. Let's see. Do we have any things that we should look at in sort of the palate cleanser department? Pageant nonsense. Okay, so I don't think it actually made the show, but I had something in spreadsheet a while ago because there was this whole controversy about the Miss Universe contest. And essentially one of the judges was really publicly disrespectful in a very aggressive way to Miss Mexico, who ended up winning the competition. And that's all fine and good. You see a picture of her and you go, that's a beautiful lady. I can totally see that's a valid choice. I mean, obviously pageants are just BS and stuff anyway, and it's probably all fixed and who knows. But Miss Norway had an interesting take on the... you back, Serenity? No. Okay. Well, I want to show you Miss Norway's outfit that she wore for part of the pageant and let this just sort of sink in. So watch closely. This is pretty cool.
Norway! This salmon-inspired gown mirrors both the delegates' movements as a baton twirler and the essence of Norway's leading export.
Yeah, Miss Norway did not win, but her costume where she walks around like a salmon and then unwraps this thing and you can see like she's all filleted and stuff on the inside. I feel like the gimmick has... I think this is peak gimmick for this. I can't imagine doing anything more gimmicky than dressing up like a salmon. Words, I know. It's hard to find words for this, isn't it?
It's just Norway. Disappointing. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Do better. No salmon. Do better.
Come on.
No salmon. No filet salmon.
Don't you like the salmon?
Oh, God, all cut up too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
This is not the person who won. Just for the record, not the winner.
I would not be eating that sashimi.
Not the winner. Well, I don't think there's anything else that we need to talk about tonight. So if there is nothing else, Geodes?
No, we're good.
We're good? We feeling good about this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight to everybody. Well, this has been your Minions of the Zoo for Saturday. Thank you, panel. Thank you, chat. The zoo is closed. Say goodnight.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Norway sucks.
Norway sucks. Salmon is delicious. Don't